What's going on, you guys? So, it's a weekly wrap up video. Of course, we're going to talk about the Canelo Alvarez and Jamal Charlo fight that's alleged to be going down Cinco de Mayo. We're going to see if that's a reality, right? We're going to see if that Charlo fight is a thing, is a real thing. But before that, there's a few other minor things in the sport of boxing that's been going on. And it's looking like Ryan Garcia is really playing games out here in the boxing community, as I stated in my original video in regards to this Isaac Cruz fight. I thought they was bullshitting. I didn't believe for a second that Golden Boy Promotions was serious or going to this thing with good faith with Isaac Cruz. And sure enough, Sean Gibbons himself comes out and says, "Come to this thing in good faith. We can make something happen." They want to have it on pay-per-view. From Isaac Cruz standpoint, that's a fight that should be on pay-per-view. Let's see what Ryan Garcia numbers really can do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So Oscar De La Hoya and them seem to be playing games with Ryan Garcia. Leonard Ellaby kind of called it a little while ago that this guy, they wasn't going to hop in a fight with Isaac Cruz. And we're going to see what happens with this little scenario, man. I don't really believe nothing when it comes to Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy at this point. And I was a believer in Ryan Garcia early on. So it's not like I'm a guy that's a hater towards Ryan Garcia, but yeah, it's been a lot of capping from that side over there, and we got to call it out, call it for how we see it. In other news, Terrence Bud Crawford is mentoring a young fighter in North Omaha by the name of Reno Busby. In other good news, right, amongst all the chaos that was going on with Terrence Crawford and his situation, he got some good things that he's doing, giving back to the city, and he's grooming a young fighter by the name of Reno Busby. So we'll be checking out that situation, see how that develops over the years, and see if, allegedly the kid has some talent and Crawford sees a lot of himself in him. So we go see a Reno Busby, if I said his name correctly, in the future. But Yordenis Ugas is letting fans know that he's not doing this for the money in regards to Errol Spence Jr. He is doing this for legacy. And this is what I've been telling you guys, man. This guy, if this guy's coming out here to win, this is big for Cuban boxing. This is big for a guy like Ugas. He said, "Look, I'm not doing this for the money. I knew the money was gonna come along the way. I just had to put in the hard work." Ugas is a humble, honest fighter, and yeah, this thing with Errol Spence is gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be really interesting. He may play spoiler. I think a lot of people kind of underestimating, undermining Ugas. But we go see. Moving forward, Eddie Hearn is pretty worried that Anthony Joshua is changing trainers ahead of this rematch with Usyk. Anthony Joshua really lacks, in my opinion, is the killer edge. There's nothing else he can do to kind of develop his skill set in the time to catch up with Ugas. He's going to find that killer edge somewhere. Instead of being all in front of the cameras like he has been recently doing his little thing, he should have been in the mountains somewhere. Trying to find that inner demon. You know what I'm saying? That's what he should have been doing. But nonetheless, we're going to see what happens with Anthony Joshua. We go see. But Canelo Alvarez and Jamal Charlo, do we believe that it's a possibility? Do we believe that it's finally happening for real this time? Jamal Charlo himself is normally pretty vocal on social media. He didn't come out and say nothing. Maybe it's a real thing. But from what I've seen, Jamal Charlo posted a picture of him and Caleb Plant. He gave us the hint that he's going up to 168 pounds. He's the biggest super middleweight in the world and all this. So we go see what happens with Jamal Charlo moving up to 168 pounds. I'm thinking he's going to be fighting Caleb Plant. I don't know if this Canelo thing is a real thing. It could be a smoke screen until the smoke clears with this Makabu situation. Because Canelo's still probably waiting for Makabu to get done with his mandatory later on this month. So, yeah, it could be all just a smoke screen to smother the flames, from the heat that he was getting from even fighting a guy like Makabu. So we go say, yeah, you know what? We go attach his name to Jamal Charlo. We'll have Mike Cappinger do it. Nobody else really heard his news but Mike Cappinger. His news lately, got to kind of take it with a grain of salt, even coming from Mike Coppinger nowadays. He probably just looking for a big scoop. And, this probably was something that he was paid to do, honestly. Yeah, I'm not believing it. I'm not believing that this Canelo Charlo is a real thing. Charlo posting um, photos of him and Caleb Plant like that's the next move. PBC tends to like to do in-house fights. Would Canelo go up and fight a Charlo right away? I don't think so. It's a big step up. Charlo's a huge step up from those guys Canelo been beating up on. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening that way. Canelo Alvarez didn't come out here and say it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking it's gonna be Charlo and Plant. I'm thinking Charlo and Plant is gonna be the fight. This is gonna be at 168 pounds, or maybe even Charlo is some other softer touch type fight to get his feet wet at the division. I'm not seeing Charlo hopping right up and going up there and fight Canelo Alvarez. I'm just not seeing it. So I'm going to be expecting to see Canelo versus Makabu. If Makabu gets past whoever the hell he's supposed to be fighting. Nobody even know who Makabu is. But yeah, Canelo fighting Charlo is probably just a way to smother the flames. And what better way to put out some type of news like that than have Mike Coppinger do it? We go see what happens, though. I don't really believe that that's a real thing. I just don't believe it. Sorry, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe that Canelo and Charlo is really in the works. I rather believe that it's Charlo and Plant is something that's more realistic at this point. I don't see Canelo fighting any of those tough guys anytime soon. He's just really waiting on Makabu, and this is just a smoke screen to kind of, hold him over to Cinco de Mayo. But tell me what you guys think. Canelo Alvarez, Jamal Charlo, is it really happening? Do we want to believe Mike Coppinger? We'll see. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.